copyrighted program created by Rio Grande.
Los Angeles Police calling all cars. Attention all cars. Broadcast 180. Regarding a holdup at the Union Ice Company. This holdup is going on now. Hurry over. Rosenquist.
Prosperity, that welcome guest, is almost home, and what we've learned in his absence. Rio Grande sales figures show that careful buyers during these last years have chosen wisely between the claims and the facts in gasoline advertising. Rio Grande's invitation to you is sincere, logical, and true, and the facts are as simple as 1, 2, 3. First, cracking is the most modern scientific method of refining the highest grade of gasoline. Remember that, for on this fact, oil men universally agree. Rio Grande cracked gasoline is refined by the process used and developed by the Sinclair Refining Company, the world's largest independent oil company whose products are sold in 45 nations. But in the West, only Rio Grande cracked gasoline can be refined by this process. Rio Grande cracked gasoline is a patented, exclusive product that you can buy only through independent Rio Grande dealers. Second, as evidence of this fact, we refer you to the best judges of gasoline, those to whom the finest gasoline is an absolute necessity, the drivers and buyers of gasoline for police cars, fire engines, ambulances, and emergency equipment. They drove 55 million miles last year with Rio Grande cracked gasoline. Who knows more about stopping and starting, idling in traffic, driving long economical miles, and the sudden bursts of racing, flashing speed? Remember this. More police cars, fire engines, ambulances, and other emergency equipment are powered by Rio Grande cracked gasoline than any other brand. And third, we call this police car performance, for that's exactly what it is, and that's exactly what you get when you buy Rio Grande cracked gasoline from your independent Rio Grande dealer. And tomorrow, when you buy gasoline, get your money's worth. Get the finest gasoline that money can buy. Get police car performance with Rio Grande cracked. Tonight we are privileged to present Major Edmund L. Green of the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Office. Major Green.
Good evening. Nearly every man, woman, and child of thinking age in this country, crime-conscious as it is, has a cure-all for crime. No theoretical remedy exists which will clear up the crime situation in this country overnight. Since no cure has been found to be successful, the only other remedy seems to be either speedy apprehension of criminals or else prevention of the crime. A suggestion for the prevention of crime has been build more and stronger prisons. But even this has not lessened the urge on the part of some men to profit at the expense of others. In our story tonight, we have a narrative of a crime that was prevented. True, the crime was attempted, and in the attempt, 3 men met their deaths. But the fearless work of the law enforcement officers at the scene prevented another successful holdup. Through one single misstep, 4 men learned that crime does not pay. But the show is ready. I'll be with you again at the end of the program.
It is almost closing time in the Oxnard office of the Union Ice Company. The bookkeeper has just completed his daily check with the last driver when 4 men enter the office from the street entrance.
Rich for the ceiling, are you?
What is this? Who are you?
Never mind, this is a stick-up. Keep your mitts in the air and we won't hurt you.
Oh, yes.
Get that money, Lefty.
Keep your shirt on. Don't you see I'm getting it?
Don't get tough with me. Go on. Get 'em over.
Will you 2 mugs stop arguing? You're going to keep shooting your mouth off till we get our necks in a sling.
Yeah? Well, you ain't no clam yourself.
Say, could I take my hands down now? This is awfully tiresome.
Not half as tiresome as the coffin. Go on. Keep him up.
He's all right, Hoppy. He can't pull anything. I got him covered. Let him down, kid.
Oh, gee, thanks. Boy, that sure puts a crimp in your arm, doesn't it?
Shut up. Don't get social or I'll have to slug you.
Yes, sir.
How about it, Lefty? How much you got?
About 3 C's.
What? All this trouble for $300?
I told you this joint wasn't no good on Thursday.
Ah, shut up. Come on, let's go.
You think we ought to bump this guy off?
It's a good idea. You want to do it?
No. You take care of him.
Okay.
Hey, wait a minute, Hoppy. We're in deep enough now. Take it easy.
What's the matter with you? You going soft?
No, I ain't soft, but a stick-up's one thing and chopping a guy's another.
What do you want to do? Leave him here to give a load to the coppers on our looks?
Oh, I'll keep quiet, mister. Honest, I will.
Yeah? The only guy that ever keeps it quiet is a dead one.
Oh, no, I give you my word. I won't tell anybody.
Yeah, come on, Hoppy. No use bumping this kid off. Let's scram.
Okay. Now, look. I'm letting you go, see? But I still think I'm a sap.
Oh, no, sir, you're not. I'll keep quiet.
Yeah, you keep quiet. Because if you don't, it's just going to be too bad. Remember, I'm telling you.
Are you going to spend the night threatening us, Bird? Come on.
Keep your shirt on. Come on, let's go.
Next day, at almost the same time in the evening, 3 men walk into the Glendale plant of the ice company. This time a lookout is posted at the door.
Okay, pal, go on, get 'em up. You heard me, grab her.
In case you don't know, these is guns we're pointing at you, see? This is known as a stick-up.
Oh.
Come on, dumb guy, get 'em up a higher.
Yes, sir.
Get the cash, Lefty.
And what's the matter with you? Just come along and keep that guy
Shut up.
company?
Come on, get that stuff and get out of here.
What's the matter? You're getting awful jumpy lately. What's wrong with you?
Nothing's wrong with me. We're pulling these jobs too fast, that's all.
Don't you like ice houses? Stick around. We'll make it hotter for you.
It's going to be hot for you if you don't watch that figure, Drinker.
Stop trying to tell me how to do this job. I'm running this mob, see?
Yeah, that's what you keep saying, but you don't seem to make them stick.
Yeah? Well, why don't you try pulling out?
All set.
Okay, take a look outside and see if it's clear.
It's okay.
Now, listen to me, dumb guy. You stay right where you are for 15 minutes, see?
Oh, yes, sir.
And if you bat an eyelash, I'll come back and blow off the top of your head.
About a week later, G.H. Fry, General Superintendent of the Union Ice Company's office at 666 South Alameda Street in Los Angeles, nears the entrance to his plant when he sees a man come out of the door carrying a 25-pound piece of ice. Paying no particular attention to the man he is about to walk on when he sees the man stop beside an alley and quickly toss the ice aside. Musing, he enters the office.
That's strange. Never saw a fellow throw away a chunk of ice like that. Oh, Pop, come here a minute. Pop, did you see a tall man buying a piece of ice just now?
Fellow with kind of sandy hair?
Yes, that's the man.
Yeah, I saw it to him myself.
Notice anything peculiar about him?
Well, he's been in here a time or two before. Matter of fact, he came in here yesterday, pretending to get a drink over there at the fountain.
What do you mean, pretending?
Just put his face down, didn't even wet his lips. Sort of waved his eyes around like a crab looking around a rock for a dead fish.
Do you think he was looking the place over for some particular purpose?
I would have paid much attention to it, except that almost as soon as he left, another fellow come in and did the same thing.
That settles it. Remember that hold-up in Glendale last month?
Yeah.
Some men did the same thing over there.
What are you going to do?
I'm going over to see Bill Traeger about it.
Why, Sheriff Traeger?
I've known him ever since he was a young fellow. He'll be able to give me the right kind of advice. You keep an eye on things till I get back.
Yeah.
No, I think I'll phone him first.
Mr. Fry to see you, Sheriff.
Have him come in.
Good morning, Bill.
What's this you were telling me over the phone? Sorry I had to cut you off, but we don't like to get much dope over the phone. Never can tell who's listening in.
Is that so? That switchboard girl of mine...
Sometimes things have a way of leaking out when we least expect it, and we like to be protected.
Well, this morning when I was coming into the office, I noticed a man just leaving the plant with a small piece of ice. I'd say 25 pounds. And I just happened to look back at him before I went inside, and I saw him flip the piece of ice up an alley. Just like that.
He didn't just set it down on the walk?
No, he just flipped it down the alley like you would a bowling ball or something.
Must have been a pretty strong fellow. What did he look like?
He was not so tall. I'd say about 5, 8 or 9. He was pretty husky, though.
Was he light or dark?
He was very dark. Almost foreign-looking. One of the meanest-looking men I ever saw.
Sounds like a fellow we know as the Hophead.
That's a name that would fit him all right.
Ever seen him before?
No, but one of the boys at the Glendale plant said that one of the men who held up the office last month looked like that.
Might be the same man.
There was a short, dark man involved in the Oxnard plant hold-up, you remember?
Yes, that's so. This is beginning to look suspicious. Have you noticed anything else unusual going on around the plant lately?
Well, as a matter of fact, I have. I noticed a tall fellow who came in yesterday and pretended to get a drink of water, but he didn't.
Didn't what?
He didn't drink. Just put his face down over the fountain and didn't even wet his lips.
That's funny. Notice anything else?
Well, Pop Comfort said the same fellow that bought the ice this morning came in yesterday and did the same things.
Somebody's evidently staking the place for a holdup.
Gosh, I hope not. Just about one more holdup, and the insurance company's going to cancel our policies.
What day are your receipts the largest in the ice business?
Tuesday is the day when we have the most money in the office.
And today's Tuesday, huh? Mm-hmm. Well, they'll probably make a try for it tonight.
What are we going to do?
Now, don't worry. We'll take care of this. Did you report this to the police department?
Oh, no. I thought maybe you could help me. After all, Bill, we've been friends for years.
Oh, that's not it. I just asked for information. It's okay. I'll send a couple of the boys down to look the place over. I want you to stay out of this, though.
You ring, sir?
Yes. Ask Stensland and Moody to step in here a minute, please.
Yes, sir.
These men are two of the best men in the department. They'll go down and keep an eye on the office till this blows over, or till we catch the crooks. Come in. Mr. Fry, Inspector Stensland and Inspector Moody.
All right.
How do you do?
Boys, Mr. Fry here is having a little excitement down at the Union Ice Company plant on Alameda Street. I want you to go over there, look the place over, and see if you think we can pick these crooks up if they try to start anything at all.
I can help a lot, Bill.
Oh, no, you won't. You'll stay out of this. I know how well you handle a gun and all that, but this job is going to be dangerous. We don't want any innocent bystanders getting hurt.
Well, we can't just walk out and leave the office vacant, waiting for them to come in.
No, that's right. We can't. Got anybody over there you can trust to let in on our little plan?
We might tell Pop Comfort.
No, I don't think he'd do. He'd be worse than you would about getting into trouble. No, we've got to have somebody who's calm and who won't get excited and start trouble.
Well, let's see. I know just the man. Earl, my bookkeeper.
Well, at least he looks like the logical man to have hanging around an office late at night.
Do you think they'll try to do it at night?
I figure they'll try to do the job just about closing time. Fry, you explain all this to your bookkeeper and see that he does exactly as he's told. This may be a tough gang we're looking for.
This is Officer Stensland, and this is Mr. Moody. Earl's our bookkeeper.
We thought it best to have one of the employees in on our plan rather than Mr. Fry here.
Is there going to be shooting and everything?
That's hard to say. Not even sure there's going to be a stick-up. We're pretty certain that this is the same bunch that held up the Glendale plant and the Oxnard plant.
Look, why can't I stick around?
No, Mr. Fry. We want you to stay away. We get paid to be shot at.
I'd like to get just one shot at those bandits.
Well, they're not bandits yet, Mr. Fry. At least we're not sure they mean to be bandits here.
I heard voices outside.
No, Earl. Don't get worked up over this thing. Just take it easy.
He's right. Listen.
Stensland, come over here by the window.
Yeah?
They're just below. Can you hear them?
Sure.
I tell you, Tuesday's the best day to pull a job. This plant's different from Glendale.
Are you sure they ain't wise?
Look, Cash, whether they're wise or not, they're getting away, bump them off. That's my motto.
Yeah, that mother's gonna backfire someday. Then where'll you be?
I take care of me, all right.
I still claim tomorrow's the best day, even if the receipts are bigger on Tuesdays.
Yeah, well, who cares what you think? Did you find out when the freight train is due to here?
Yeah, comes along just about the time they close this joint.
That's a swell. That train will drown out any noise we have to make.
You figure on making any noise?
Yeah, but that little bookkeeper got so smart, I'm going to let him have it.
Remember that, Stensland.
Yeah.
So you got to watch out for that kid.
Don't worry, we'll watch him. They won't hurt him.
That's what I figured. That's why I wanted him in on this. I felt they wouldn't bother him.
Well, okay, have it your way this time. Maybe tomorrow would be better. And I have more money in there anyway. Come on, let's go.
That's that. I guess that's all for tonight. Earl.
Yes, sir?
Apparently our friends have decided to wait until tomorrow night, about closing time, to knock the place over. You go on home. We'll stick around a while longer in case they change to... And if they don't come back, why, we'll be prepared for them tomorrow night. You run along, get a little sleep.
Gee, Mr. Stensland, it'll be little enough tonight. I couldn't sleep if I had to.
Sort of got you up in the air, have they, Earl?
I'll say they have. Why, this is the most exciting thing that's ever happened to me.
Yeah?
You know, I've never done the things other fellas have, being crippled this way, and I guess I sort of missed the fun and excitement.
Yeah, I know, Earl. Well, maybe you don't miss so much of that. Maybe you save a lot of energy some of us guys throw away.
Oh, I don't really mind, only sometimes it gets sort of, well, you know.
Sure, I know, son. Chase along now. You got to be on the job tomorrow, you know.
All right, Mr. Stensland, if you think I should. I'll see you tomorrow. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, Earl.
Kind of a brave kid at that, isn't he?
Yeah. Hope nothing happens to him tomorrow night.
I don't know. That hophead sounds like a pretty mean bird. Think we ought to wait till he makes a try at it, or just pick him up tonight?
Well, we haven't got anything on him. If we pick him up tonight, we'll only have to turn him loose.
Yeah, I suppose so. Worried about the kid, though. Wish we had somebody else to leave in here.
What, and have that youngster miss the only fun he ever had in his life? Not a chance.
Just the same, I'd feel better if he weren't going to be here.
Stensland and Moody remained at the plant until after it closed. Finally, convinced that their men would not strike before the following day, they reported to Sheriff Traeger the outcome of the day's work.
We stuck around the place until just a few minutes ago and then decided it was all off for today.
Nothing happened till late this afternoon. We heard voices under Fry's window, and that's when we got the tip that they were waiting until tomorrow.
How many men were there?
4. A short, dark man they call Hop. Tall fella, slightly bald, older man.
Yeah, I'd say about 45.
A younger fella and a young kid. I'd say 18 or 19.
Well, that's the trouble with gangs like that. There's always a youngster mixed up with a bunch of hardened criminals.
Well, there's not much we can do about that. If he gets in with that sort of mob, he'll have to take the consequences.
Oh, no question about that. Only if you can get by without anybody getting hurt, do it.
I think we better take a couple of boys with us again tomorrow. We need somebody out in front as a lookout. We need somebody in the engine room. Let us know if they start in that way.
We'll take all the men you need. But why the man on the street? That may tip them off.
No, we can't see the Alameda Street side from Fry's office. Opens onto a side street. Bookkeeper's the only one who has access to the Alameda Street side.
Has anybody a habit of hanging out in the main office?
During the day, the usual office force is there, but we figure the gang will wait until everybody goes home before they try to knock over the place.
Well, if there's any shooting to be done, do it first.
The only thing that worries me is the bookkeeper. He's sort of excited over this thing. I'm afraid he'll pull some stunt that'll upset the apple cart.
Well, if you think he'll get in your way, let's send him home.
I'm leery of it myself.
I think the kid's all right.
Yeah?
He's naturally keyed up over this thing, but he'll settle down before the fireworks start.
In mid-afternoon of the following day, Stensland and Moody check in with Sheriff Traeger before going to the ice company plant.
Have you decided on the men to take with you tonight?
We're taking Harry Wright and Charlie Catlin. They're going to stay outside. We decided to put them in that old barn across the street from the ice company. They'll be out of sight there.
Isn't that on the other side of the railroad?
Yes, but that's the best place for them.
Well, while you boys were out, Harry Wright was in and reported that he'd received a tip on this job.
Got any names?
Yes. Louis Rice, known as Lefty Louis, wanted by New York and Chicago police for bank robbery and holdups. Ed Merton, and incidentally, Merton's out on $10,000 bail right now.
Huh.
He's wanted in a half dozen places for robbery. He's also listed in the records as using the name of Mullen.
Say, I remember him. We brought him in once before in connection with that car barn job, you remember?
Isn't he the same one who's running around with Gilkey?
Hey, that's the guy.
Sure.
Say, Gilkey must be the hop.
Looks like you boys are in for a little plain and fancy roundup of some genteel crooks.
Well, we're ready for him. We'll be looking down their throats.
Better be sure. They'll probably be throwing lead all over the place.
Well, we're not in the habit of taking chances, you know that, Chief.
Well, there may be a little bit of, well, for the want of a better term, curiosity as to why we're handling this case in this office. But after what Harry told me today, it seems that it belongs here in as much as it's the same gang we are after on the car barn job and on the Glendale plant of Fry's Ice Company.
Yeah, we better be getting on the job. It's getting late.
What time do you figure they'll stick their neck in the trap?
Sometime between 6 and 9. There's a freight train due along there about 6:30. A lot of switching's done along about 9. They'll try it sometime about then if they miss the 6:30.
Well, better pick up Harry and Charlie and get down to the plant. Fry will be worried to death till you get there.
Say, I'll bet that little bookkeeper wouldn't miss working tonight if they gave him the plant.
Yeah, I'd feel a lot better if that kid weren't going to be there.
Oh, he'll be all right if he just keeps out of the way and keeps quiet.
Yeah, that's easy to say. But did you ever try to dodge a load of buckshot?
Not yet. Never can tell when I'll have to start, though.
Stensland and Moody, together with 3 other officers, went back to the plant. As they had planned, Harry Wright and Charlie Catlin were stationed in a deserted barn across the street from the plant. Only Superintendent Fry and the bookkeeper knew of the prospective robbery. Late that afternoon, a driver is checking in with the bookkeeper.
I'm telling you, them birds looks nasty to me. Why, they've been around this block at least 10 times since 5 o'clock.
Well, you're just imagining things. It's probably some car that looks like the first one you saw.
Listen, I might mistake the car, but I wouldn't mistake that guy that's driving. Why, that's the meanest-looking bird I ever saw.
What does he look like?
He's about my size, I reckon, and Real dark. Got a stubble beard, too. And boy, does he look like he'd beat his own mother.
Well, what do the others look like?
Well, one's an older man. I'd say about Pop Comfort's age. The other two are just young fellas, but they're all plenty tough.
You're seeing things, Pat. There couldn't be 4 men as tough as that.
Okay, but don't say I didn't tell you. Hey, look. There they go again.
Huh?
See that car right across the street? That's the one.
You're crazy, White. I've seen those fellas lots of times lately.
Yeah, so have I. About a dozen times a day. Doing the same thing they're doing right now.
Oh, well, nothing ever happens around here. You'd better get cleared out, though, before Pop starts closing up.
Hey, is it that late? I've got to get home. My old lady will still be...
Thought I'd never get him out of here. Oh, Mr. Moody, did you hear what he said?
Yeah, I had the office door open a little. What did the men look like?
Just like he said, tough and mean.
Now, look, you stay as busy as you can. When they come in, don't get excited and start anything. If they get tough, well, we'll take care of them.
I'm not excited. I'm just a little nervous. You know, waiting and all.
Yeah, we know.
Moody and I'll be in Fry's office here. We'll have the door open a little. You be ready. Don't try to do anything.
Oh, I won't try anything, Mr. Stenson.
Hey, quiet. Somebody's coming.
Oh, that's Brighton, one of the drivers.
We'll duck out of sight. Get rid of him.
Oh, hello, Brighton.
How are you?
Say, you can't sit around in the office. It's
No.
against the rules, you know.
So what? What are you going to do about it?
Why, nothing, I guess. Only
what? Listen, you. I've already checked out. I'm waiting for my buddy, see? And I'll sit in here if I want to. Rules are made for guys like you. Now, pipe down, because I'm sleepy.
Oh, you can't go to sleep.
Say, who says I can't?
Mr. Fry said... you can't sleep here now.
Listen, monkey, I'm going to sit right here, and I'm going to take a nap. And if you interrupt me again, I'm going to let you have one right on that funny kisser of yours. You get me?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Only I wish you wouldn't right now.
What time is it?
6:25.
Pretty soon now.
That train's due any minute.
I hear it now.
I can see them, Mr. Moody.
What are they doing?
They're getting out of the car. Here comes the train.
Are they waiting for it to pass?
No. That's a string of flat cars. They're coming over them.
How many?
Cars or men?
Men.
Oh, 3.
Where's the fourth?
I don't see. Oh, yes, there he is. It's the hophead. Oh, he's caught between 2 of the cars. Oh, no, he got loose. Here they come.
Get to work now and keep your nerve.
Oh, I'm all right. Are your guns okay?
2 of the best sawed-off shotguns in the arsenal. Quiet now.
All right, guy. Play nice, nor else.
Yes, sir.
This is a stick-up, and we don't want no monkey business.
Yes, sir. Oh, but if you wouldn't push that gun into my neck so hard.
What's the matter? You don't like it, huh?
Well, not very well.
Well, how you like that?
Lay off, Hoppy. He ain't hurting you none. Just keep yourself buttoned up, kid, and you won't get hurt.
Oh, yeah? That's what you think.
Lay off, Hoppy.
Hey, wait a minute. Look over there. Who's that guy?
You mean that fella asleep there?
Sure. Who do you think I mean?
Oh, well, that's Brighton. Shall I wake him up?
No, don't wake him up. Keep still. Let him snore. This is going to be a good joke on him. Yeah, good joke. Louie, come here. You stand on that door and don't let anyone in. Okay. And don't let that guy out. Joe, come here. You watch that side over there by the counter. We're going to clean out this joint and no time at all.
Drop those guns.
No, wait a minute. Stop.
Slam! Help me.
Yeah, nuts to you. Help yourself. You ask for it. Smart coppers, ain't you? Smart, huh? That's what do you think? Well, take a look at this kid on the floor. See this? I got my gun right in his neck, see? Right in the back of his neck. You make a one-move, copper, and I'm going to blow his head off. How you like that, eh? Yeah, it's just what I thought. You don't like it. You don't like my way of playing, do you? Yeah. But how'd you like to see this kid with his face blown off? Like my pal over there. How you like that, eh? Yeah. You wouldn't, would you? Or maybe you'd rather have me shoot him in the ribs. Like you did to that old man, huh? You like to have me do that, huh? You want to see me do that, copper? No, you don't, do you? Well, I tell you what I do. I'm going to make a deal with you. You let me alone, and I let the kid alone. Well, come on. How about it?
Put that gun down.
Huh?
Put that gun down. I'm right behind you, and I've got you covered.
All right. Don't shoot. I'm going to put it down. Don't shoot me. Oh.
Pick him up, Hophead.
Hey, get this guy over me.
How did you like to have a gun in your ear?
Ouch!
That feels good.
Oh, get him off of me, will you?
Not
get
so
him off
good
of me.
when somebody else has a gun, is it, Hophead?
No.
Hey, there goes the other man. Get him, Harry. Stop that guy going to the door.
You got him all right. What an awful way for a kid to die.
The net result of the attempted holdup of the ice company plant was one bandit in custody, one so seriously wounded that he died in the hospital, and two killed at the scene of the crime. Another crime that did not pay. At the opening of Calling All Cars, I talked to you about the exclusive Sinclair refining process that makes Rio Grande cracked gasoline possible. For the production and refining of the world's finest motor oils, Sinclair processes are again responsible. Sinclair writes the laws of lubrication, and fleets of ships, 8 major airlines, 150 railroads, and millions of motorists in 45 nations of the world depend upon Sinclair oils for the lubrication of their motors. There are hundreds of oil companies, but Sinclair refines 1 out of every 9.5 gallons of oil sold in the United States. The secret of this success is the fact that Sinclair oils are refined from the highest priced crude oils in America and super refined, removing all the harmful wax and useless petroleum jelly found in many of the oils you buy. Sinclair oil will not break down in this summer's heat. With Sinclair oils, your car will run longer and smoother, and you'll save many dollars yearly. See your Rio Grande dealer tomorrow. Get police car performance with Rio Grande cracked gasoline and Sinclair eyes for safety with Sinclair motor oils. And oh, yes, the new May issue of the Calling All Cars News is out. There are 4 true detective stories, movie and radio news, featured articles and pictures. You'll enjoy it, and it's free at your Rio Grande dealer. And now Major Green has a word for you.
Every man connected with the gang about which we have heard tonight was a hardened criminal, with one possible exception. Even that man was guilty of association with a group that could not be anything but an enemy of law and order. Here was a group of men with prison records, but prison had not rehabilitated them. They had not gone to jail to accept punishment for their misdeeds, but because they had not choice. Their one aim in life was to get out of prison as soon as they could, so that they could commit more depredations on society. Subsequent actions by the surviving member of this gang proved conclusively that he was a criminal of the most ruthless and desperate tendencies. He received a sentence of 10 years in San Quentin prison. Once again, it is demonstrated that crime does not pay.
Los Angeles Police calling all cars. Attention all cars. A cancellation broadcast 180 regarding a holdup. Suspects in this case are now in custody. That's all. Rosenquist.
Next week at this time, the intriguing story of John Doe, number 71. This is your narrator, Frederick Lindsley, bidding you good night for Rio Grande. Calling All Cars, a copyrighted program created by Rio Grande.
Los Angeles Police calling all cars. Attention all cars. Broadcast 181 regarding a missing person. Described as male American, 38 years. About 5 feet 10 inches, 150 pounds. Last seen at 5:15 a.m., September 25th. This may be a murder. That's all. Rosenquist.
Here's headline news for every motorist. For the fourth consecutive year, the city of Los Angeles selects Rio Grande cracked gasoline to power all police cars, fire engines, ambulances, and other emergency equipment. Again, Oakland, the great, fast-growing metropolitan city of the Bay region, has specified Rio Grande cracked gasoline exclusively to supply all city requirements. Now, Glendale and Buckeye, bustling Arizona communities, choose Rio Grande cracked gasoline in preference to all other gasolines for power, speed, economy, and police car performance. Here is the imposing roll call of cities and counties who specify Rio Grande cracked gasoline for all emergency equipment. Los Angeles, Oakland, Berkeley, Marysville, Fresno, Santa Barbara, Pasadena, Monterey Park, Glendora, Linwood, Colton, San Diego, Phoenix, Glendale, Buckeye, Las Vegas, Orange County, San Diego County, Santa Barbara County, Maricopa County, Coconina County, and many, many other cities and counties. We believe you will agree that this is the strongest testimony, the most valuable endorsement, the most conclusive proof of gasoline superiority that has ever been presented to you. Rio Grande delivers the superior type of performance because it alone, of all gasoline sold in the West, can be refined by the patented and internationally famous Sinclair refining process. Get police car performance in your car tomorrow from your Rio Grande dealer. It is our pleasure to again present F.K. Hawtrey, Inspector of Detectives of the Los Angeles Police Department. Inspector Hawtrey.
It is the purpose of this program to bring home to every prospective wrongdoer the fact that crime in any form doesn't pay. Law enforcement officers cannot look behind the crime to find an extenuating circumstance or a good motive to excuse the breaking of the law. It makes no difference how worthy a motive a man may have in breaking the law. When he breaks it, he becomes a criminal. And it is the duty of every officer to make him regret his act. In the case of the man whose story we are to hear tonight, the motive, while perhaps worthy, was nevertheless the cause of his attempt to commit fraud, to rob the firm of money which should not have been obtained. In the commission of this crime, he paid the extreme penalty. He learned too late that crime does not pay.
Early in the afternoon of a beautiful spring day in the little town of Santa Maria, California, two young people are leaving the administration building of the Hancock Foundation School of Aeronautics.
Look, Lorraine, at last I've got it. I've got the thing I've been working for so long. I'm a transport pilot, Lorraine. Do you know what that means?
Oh, I'm glad, darling. You've worked so hard to get that certificate.
3 long years. Oh, they've been glorious years, Lorraine, because of you.
Have you forgotten all those other things, Charles?
I'll never completely forget them. Please believe me, dear, but I don't love you any less because I can't forget my love for her.
You wouldn't be you if you did forget, darling. After all, it isn't so strange that a man should love the memory of his wife. And I'm not jealous, dear.
Please don't ever be. And please don't ever tell me there's anyone else you love.
Oh, silly. There never could be anyone else. Well, I've got to go in now.
Goodbye, dear. I'll see you tonight.
So you see, dear, the family likes you, but they feel, well, Mother and Dad feel that you should try to do something besides just stay around here and stunt in your plane.
But, Lorraine, I don't have to work. I've got enough for us to get by on, and I'll pick up a transport job before you know it.
Charles Stelmack, you're not trying to tell me that you're content to live off your brother all your life.
Of course not. I'll pay it all back when I get my transport job. Look, Lorraine, I have a good education. I can fly. I'm not afraid to do anything that needs doing. But why should I try to tie myself down to just dollar jobs? I've got to be active. I've got to be doing things that call for something else than just routine.
I know, darling. But But I can't go around telling everybody that you're too good for the jobs they have for you here in Santa Maria. Can't you see that, dear?
Oh, I suppose so. All right. I'll get out.
Charles.
I'll get out and get a job, any kind of a job. I'll get a job digging ditches or making roads or something so your precious family can say, don't you just love Charles Callises?
Oh, Charles, that's not being very fair.
Are you being fair? Who am I supposed to be in love with anyhow, you or your family? Okay, I'll get a job. I'll satisfy them.
And Charles Stelmach, transport pilot, got a job digging ditches and building roads, a job that paid a mere $100 a month.
You the foreman on this job?
Yeah, what is it?
I got a truckload of prisoners out there ready to go to work.
All right, unload them and tell them to get picks and shovels. Put part of them over there on that shoulder and send the rest of them over to help in that ditch. Maybe they'll get calluses. Calluses. I got them all right, and what good's it doing me? Ah, nuts. I'm quitting this cockeyed job right now. Lorraine can tell her family to take a long-running jump into... Hey, Shorty, come here.
Yes, Mr. Stelmach.
Look, I'm leaving here. Now, see? I'm quitting. You're in charge from now on.
But where are you going? What are you going to do? What about your check?
Tell old man Ketz to take it and shove it down his throat.
Once again, the name of Charles Stelmach figures in Bureau of Air Commerce records, as his pilot license is suspended for 3 months for violation of low-flying regulations. Then, one morning in the spring of 1933, in front of a house on South Sycamore Street in Los Angeles.
Good morning. I'm Dr. Hunter. I live next door. I saw your picture in the paper this morning. Flying pretty low yesterday, weren't you?
Oh, I don't know. Just trying to have a little fun. Gets rather tiresome just flying around, looking at the scenery. Did you see me?
Yes, I was just bringing my boat down from Santa Barbara. Happened to be opposite the pier when you set your ship down on the sand.
That was a dumb stunt. Well, I won't be doing that for 3 months anyway.
Is that why you're thinking of buying Mrs. Smith's car?
Yeah, I want something to get down to the beach with. I like to swim.
Well, why don't you come down with us Sunday? We're going to take a little sail down to the island and back. You'll like it.
Do you mean it?
Why, of course. We'd be glad to have you come.
And out of that meeting grew a friendship that ripened and grew as the weeks grew into months.
Say, Doc, how about lending me that Browning you have? It's a neat little gun, and I'm getting awfully rusty in my sharpshooting. I'd like to take it with me when I drive down to the beach and do a little target practice.
Sure, it's target practice you want to do?
Sure, what else? You don't think I want to shoot myself, do you?
It has been done.
Not by me. I'm having too much fun.
Seen Dolores lately?
Yeah, saw her yesterday. Got a date to go to the beach tonight.
Good-looking girl, Dolores. Serious about it?
No. Why should I tie myself down to any one woman? I like Dolores. We have a lot of fun. That's all there is to it as far as I'm concerned.
Well, how about her? How does she feel about it?
Just like I do. Why?
Oh, nothing. I just remembered that she didn't look so pleased when you told her you'd been out with Teddy.
Dolores hasn't any reason to be jealous of Teddy or anyone else.
I hope she realizes that.
Why so downhearted tonight, Charlie?
Me? Oh, I'm not downhearted. Never felt better in my life.
Well, why don't you act that way then?
Just thinking, that's all.
What about?
I'm worried about something that happened last night.
What was it?
I don't like to talk about it. Didn't amount to anything. Some guy stuck a knife in my shoulder.
Charlie, you mean someone stabbed you? Did you report it to the police?
No, I'll take care of him myself. I don't want any help from anybody.
Do you think it was one of Teddy's boyfriends?
I don't know, but I'll find out. And when I do, there'll be trouble around here.
And so, Charles Stelmach and the girl Dolores, as on other occasions, spent a time on the beach at Malibu, then began a round of night spots. Then, one morning, almost a week later, the manager of the apartment house in which he lives receives a telephone call from Dolores.
Well, I'm sorry, but Mr. Stelmach doesn't answer.
Are you sure he isn't in?
No, but the only way I have is to go up and see if he's asleep or something.
Well, he certainly wouldn't be asleep since Tuesday, would he? I had an appointment with him Tuesday, and he hasn't called since.
Well, wait a minute, and I'll ask the houseboy if he's seen him. John? Oh, John, have you seen Mr. Stelmach today?
No, ma'am, I haven't seen Mr. Stelmach since Tuesday. He came in drunk, and I saw him staggering into his apartment Tuesday about 5 o'clock. I went to clean the apartment about 10 o'clock, but he said, go away, my head hurts. Not to clean it that morning. He came back in the afternoon, he told me.
Hello, Miss Dolores. The houseboy says he hasn't seen Mr. Stelmach since Tuesday morning about 5 o'clock.
I'm coming over right away. Something must be wrong.
Dolores. 408's the number. Now, where is that key? I always have trouble finding the right key. No, that's not the one. Let me see. No, that's the key to the basement. What's this key to? I can't remember. Now, let me see.
Oh, please hurry, Mrs. Lichting.
Now, don't rush me now. I've got to find the key, haven't I?
Let me try. Why, the door's not locked. Oh.
Oh, what in the world's happened in here?
Charlie! 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 Mrs. Lichting, come here, look.
What is it? What's the matter?
Look, there on the floor.
Blood!
Look, it's here on the kitchen floor, too. Oh, look how this apartment's wrecked.
Well, let's get out of here. Let's call the police. Let's do something.
Nice-looking place.
Too quiet for murder.
I never can tell. Some of these joints turn out the worst cases. Remember that case out in Hollywood where the bird shot his wife?
Are you the manager? Did you phone for the police?
Yes?
We're from police headquarters. What's the excitement here?
Oh, I was never so excited in my life. Mr. Stelmack was such a nice man. Why, he never gave me any trouble at all. He never...
Where's the apartment?
Well, it's on the 4th floor. As I was going to
We'd
say...
like to look at the apartment, if you don't mind.
Oh, of course. The elevator's right down the hall here. This door is a little hard to open at times. There. Now, the 4th floor. Button. As I was saying, Mr. Stelmack never gave us a bit of trouble. He just came in and went out, and the only time we saw him was when he paid his rent. Oh, here we are. This door sticks a little, too.
What's the number of this apartment?
It's apartment 408.
Anyone in there now?
Well, only the young man from the newspaper.
What?
Well, I thought it'd be all right to let him in. He wanted to get some pictures. He said it'd be awfully hard to get them after the police came.
Never mind. Let's go in.
Well, the gentleman of the press.
Hi, Geezy. Hello, Sandy. Nice, juicy murder. Gang killing, maybe, huh?
Maybe.
Bothered anything?
Now you know me better than that.
Well, that's why I asked you.
Well, did you?
No, just as you see it when I walked in, except for the lady. She couldn't wait.
What lady?
Oh, he means Miss Dolores. She was the one who came up with me this morning. She had a date with Mr. Stelmack to go to Pomona.
Pomona?
To the fair, Sandy. You know.
Quiet. Who's this Dolores person?
Well, she's one of Mr. Stelmack's girlfriends. She's been here before, but she never came in.
You said girlfriends. How many did he have?
Well, there's Miss Dolores and Teddy and Lorraine and, oh, yes, Doris.
You know where they live?
No, but they've all left their phone numbers from time to time when they called up Mr. Stelmack.
Well, that's going to help. Now, look, Hurst, how about checking those phone numbers with the lady here and finding out what these women know about the late Mr. Stelmack?
Assuming that he is the late Mr. Stelmack.
Funny he didn't have any pictures lying around.
Funny? Devlin's here, isn't he?
I resent that, Sandy.
Go ahead, see if I care. Where are those pictures?
Out in the kitchen where we set them up to make copies of them.
Why all the consideration? Why didn't you take the originals?
Thought you might like to have them to trace the murderer.
Oh.
If there is a murderer.
What do you mean, if?
Oh, just if.
Why, this is the sweetest murder job you ever saw in your life. What are you talking about?
What makes you so sure of that, Tommy?
Look, here's an apartment all ransacked. Furniture knocked all over the place, enough blood to make a stage show, bullet holes in the wall.
Where?
Right over there on the west wall by the door.
Well, nice little fella, isn't it?
About a 32, isn't it?
Been through something, too.
Sure, a body.
Nuts.
Double it, and I'm still right.
Maybe.
A lot of blood around this joint.
Too much for a guy that's been bumped off.
Maybe he wasn't as anemic as some of us.
Speak for yourself, Tommy.
Oh,
I'll get it, Mr. Devlin.
Okay, go ahead. Probably the old man wanting to know where the heck my story is.
No, Mr. Stelmack's not in. Well, I'm not expecting him today, no. Who? Doris. Yes, I'll tell him. Oh, I'm Lieutenant Giese, Police Department. Hello. Boy, did she hang up in a hurry.
What'd you expect her to do, make a date?
Oh, shut up. Find anything, Sandy?
Yeah. A pipe, loosely packed with tobacco, bunch of letters, and a suit of clothes.
A suit of clothes?
Seems to have had two of everything. 2 pair of shoes. New ones are in the closet, and the pair he probably has on. Here's a good suit, just one.
An old shirt with a small tear on the sleeve. Stain, too.
Probably blood. Here's a reference to it in this letter.
Where's it from?
Fellow named Gillette in San Francisco. He says, sorry to hear about the fight. You've got to be more careful. Hope the cut in your shoulder gets all right soon. Guess that explains the tear in the shirt.
Funny he didn't have it sewed up.
Yeah, awfully funny.
Oh, what do you think, Sandy?
Suicide.
What? Hey, what's the matter with you guys? Are you nuts? Here's the plainest case of murder a guy ever saw, and you walk in and say suicide.
Where's the body?
I'll bite. Where is it? What does that prove?
Are you trying to tell us that some bird walked in here and wrecked this joint, shot Stelmach, and carted his body away without anybody seeing him?
Stranger things have happened.
No, not in Los Angeles, they haven't.
Ye God, Sandy, you're going to stand there and let this bird call this a suicide?
I called it a suicide, Tommy.
Oh, then you're both nuts. Look, here's the way this thing happened. I've been reading these letters, and don't forget, I talked to this Dolores dame. Here's the way this thing took place. Some bird walks up and rings this guy's bell. He goes to the door, opens it, and there's Teddy's boyfriend, or some mug who's after Stelmach. This guy slams a foot in the door, and they fight for it. Finally, this bird gets in, and there's a fight in the apartment. The table goes over. Then that lamp. This bird yanks out a gun and lets Stelmach have one. But that doesn't do the job. This fellow Stelmach is a tough baby.
Is a tough baby?
Was a tough baby. Shut up and listen. Then they fight some more. All over the place, slugging and going out at hammer and tongs. Out in the kitchen, bumping into the stove. Back across the bed. Here in the bathroom. Finally, this bird slugs Stelmach and knocks him out. Stands there a minute or two. And he heaves this guy Stelmach up, carries him out, dumps him in a car, covers him up with a blanket, gets in, and gives her the gun. Okay, there's your crime. What do you say now?
Suicide?
You ought to be a writer.
Nuts.
Five days later, in the Malibu substation of the sheriff's office, Captain Ryan receives a report.
Okay, Cap. There's your report on the dead body Dr. Dostal found on the beach.
Man about 38 to 40. Evidently been in the water 5 days.
Yeah.
Shot through body just below chest, hole in left arm near wrist, cut on arm, upper tricep, blue trousers, no shirt. Find any gun?
No. There's a sedan parked up on the road about half a mile from where the body was found. Has some bloodstains on it. We found this briefcase in the road.
I see. Goggles, helmet, and scarf. Any marks on him? Here. Yes, here's a name. Charles Stelmach. 119 East Morrison Avenue, Santa Maria, California. Stelmach. Say, you don't suppose that could be the man reported missing by the Los Angeles police, do you?
It could be.
Well, I think I'll give him a ring. Anderson speaking.
Anderson, I want some action on that Stelmach case. I'm getting plenty of grief from all sides on it. Newspapers are on my neck, too. Get hold of Hearst and Gazy and see what they found.
There's nothing new on the case. Suicide, sir.
That's what you say. I'm telling you, Sandy, you better be prepared to prove that tomorrow.
October 10th, 1934, in the office of the coroner of Los Angeles County. A group of men and women are gathered to give what testimony they can that will clear the mystery surrounding the death of John Doe, number 71.
Hi, detectives.
Morning, Devlin.
Sort of putting the heat on, aren't you, Tommy?
Look, fellas, we've all got jobs. We've got to do them to the best of our abilities. If I fall down, I get fired. If you fall down, you get fired. I think I'm right in this case. You think you're right. Maybe we both are.
Forget it, Devlin. We can take it.
And we can dish it out.
Well, let's get started. Find seats, all of you. Get this over as soon as possible. Who's the first witness?
Dolores Roberts.
State your name and occupation.
Mrs. Dolores Roberts, actress.
Did you know the deceased?
Quite well.
Did he ever say anything that might indicate he intended to commit suicide?
Never.
What is his general attitude toward life?
He was usually very cheerful, but lately he seemed worried.
You know why?
Well, he said that a boyfriend of Teddy's was after him.
Let it be read into the record that by Teddy, she means Teddy Daphne, friend of Charles Stelmach.
Teddy Daphne here?
Yes, sir.
Mrs. Roberts, if you have no further information, we'll call Miss Daphne. All right, Miss Daphne. State your name and occupation.
Doris Daphne. I'm an actress.
How long have you known Charles Stelmach?
Oh, about a year.
Did he ever, in your presence, discuss suicide?
No.
Did he ever seem in fear of his life?
Well, he told me once that some men had attacked him, stabbed him in the shoulder.
How long ago was this?
About a month ago.
Did he report this matter to the police?
No, he said he could handle the matter alone.
He told Mrs. Roberts that, too.
Is that true, Mrs. Roberts?
Yes.
Miss Daphne, have you any friends who might have wished to kill Mr. Stelmach?
Why, no, certainly not.
Were there any reasons why anyone should have been jealous of Mr. Stelmach? I mean, in his relations with you?
No one.
Mrs. Roberts has told us that you had a little unpleasant experience with Mr. Stelmach. Is that true?
Well, Mr. Stelmach borrowed my car to drive to Santa Barbara. When he returned, the speedometer showed the car had been driven 400 miles and the generator had been burned out. He said he'd fix the car, but he never did. I called him several times about it, but he never did anything about the car.
Did you say 400 miles?
Yes, sir.
That just about fits the trip he made to Santa Maria to see his girlfriend.
He didn't have a girlfriend in Santa Maria.
That's what you think.
Then he lied to me.
That's possible.
That's all, Miss Daphne. Dr. Hunter.
Yes?
State your name and occupation.
Frank Hunter, physician and surgeon.
You knew Charles Stelmach?
Very well.
Did you lend him a gun?
Yes, sir. About 8 months ago. I asked him for it several times.
And what did he say?
He said, what's the matter? You don't think I'm going to shoot myself, do you?
What sort of a gun was it?
A Browning make, 32 caliber automatic.
Did Charles Stelmach ever discuss suicide with you?
Only to say that he thought it took a lot of nerve, and that he thought narcotics might help.
You know if he used narcotics?
I would say that he did not.
Did he tell you of a stab wound?
Yes. About a month ago, he told me he'd been attacked by 2 men and stabbed.
You dressed the wound?
I did not.
Did you offer to do so?
No. I told him he should have it attended to, but he seemed reticent about discussing it.
Is there anything that you'd like to add to your testimony?
No, sir.
Call Wilson Gillette.
Mr. Gillette, state your name and occupation.
Wilson Gillette, writer and journalist.
You knew Charles Stelmach?
Very well. He was my best friend.
You know any reason why he should commit suicide?
There was no reason in the world.
Do you know of anyone who might want to take his life?
He wrote me once he was being troubled by a man who was following him at night. He said this man was a friend of some woman he had met, and that he was afraid he was going to have trouble with the man.
In your opinion, did Charles Stelmach commit suicide or was he murdered?
I most certainly believe that he was murdered. Furthermore, it seems to me the police department have done very little except attempt to prove that a man has committed suicide, when it is obvious to everyone that he was murdered. That's all I have to say.
Lieutenant Sanderson. State your name and occupation.
Roy Sanderson, Homicide Bureau, Los Angeles Police Department.
Will you state the details of this case? Do you know them?
On September 30th, a call came in on a missing person. It was relayed to the Central Homicide Detail. It was reported that blood stains and other evidences of violence were discovered. I was detailed to the case along with Detectives Hurst and Giese.
Now, why did you conclude that Charles Stelmach committed suicide?
Well, in the first place, when we got to the apartment, we found evidences of a disturbance. Yet our questioning of other tenants didn't disclose anybody who'd heard a disturbance. No one had heard a shot either, so it must have been muffled. On the floor, and at least 5 feet from an overturned table, was a pipe. It had evidently been knocked off, and it was loosely packed. No tobacco had been filled. Remember that, Evelyn. The lamp had been knocked over. Yet when it was set upright, the bulb still burned. It hadn't been broken. We found a bullet from a 32 caliber gun embedded in the mopboard. It wasn't in the wall very deeply. The test showed that, well, it hadn't struck with much force. Dr. Hunter stated that the gun he lent Stelmach would have acted in just such a manner had the bullet passed through any substance, say an arm or hand.
Did you find any blood stains?
Yes. Here are some photographs of the apartment showing the blood stains on the floor and the walls. This X marks the spot where the largest stain appears. This X marks the spot where the bullet was found. You'll see by this white line here, the shot came from about waist high and followed this course to the mopboard here.
How do you explain this large blood stain?
Someone stood there while blood dripped straight down from an injury and did something with his other hand.
What might that action have been?
Might have been wrapping a towel around the gun.
Was there any injury on the body of Charles Stelmach that would indicate that he had been shot or injured in any manner as to cause these stains?
Yes. Yes, he had a small cut on his left wrist. Also an injury that may have been a gunshot wound.
And with what was this cut on the wrist made?
With this razor blade.
Where did you find that?
In the back of the top dresser drawer, Tommy. You missed it.
When the automobile of Charles Stelmach was found near the beach in Malibu Road, did it bear any blood stains?
Yes, on the left side of the seat cushion and on the left side of the steering wheel.
Could Stelmach have shot himself while in the apartment and then have driven to the beach?
Yes, he could have. In this photograph of the floor and part of the wall of the apartment, you see that the splotches of blood indicate that they were made by a man swinging his arm from front to rear like this. Whereas, had they been the results of blows being dealt by another man, or any normal movement, he would have struck from this angle. It would have indicated a forward movement.
After driving his car to the beach, what action is indicated by the condition of the body?
Well, I'd say that the man waded into the water a distance sufficient to assure his body sinking. Then he shot himself just below the heart.
Can you ascribe any motive for such an act?
In June of this year, Charles Stelmach took out an insurance policy in the amount of $3,000 payable to his brother Paul living in New York. He had a previous policy for $1,000, but the new policy was not payable in case of suicide.
Was this policy payable in case of death from any other cause?
Yes. Besides, he had recently been making an effort to establish a double indemnity clause in the policy, payable in case of accidental death.
Would his murder have been construed as accidental death?
I believe the courts have so ruled. I don't believe I can add much more to this.
Why didn't you tell me about that policy? Where'd you find it?
Stuck in behind one of those pictures you so carefully copied.
Okay, you win. John Doe, number 71, murdered himself.
The case of John Doe, number 71, was closed with a verdict of suicide. On October 27, 1934, word came from New York that Paul Stelmach, brother of the dead man, had also killed himself. It was learned that in 1922, the father of the two boys had died in a similar manner. $600 million annually. That's what automotive engineers estimate the nation's automobile repair bill to be. They declare that more than one half of this staggering expense is caused by faulty lubrication. $300 million. A small part of this may be yours. There is one way that you can stay on the safe side, and that is to put your lubrication problem entirely in the hands of your neighborhood Rio Grande dealer. Only he can give you the advantages of the Sinclair law of lubrication. The Sinclair law of lubrication definitely takes the guesswork out of car maintenance and automatically indicates the proper grade of oil for your car in consideration of its age, make, and model. He handles the internationally famous Sinclair motor oil, Sinclair Pennsylvania and Sinclair Opaline, both de-waxed and de-jellied to give you complete lubricating quality. Sinclair oils will not break down under the most grueling conditions of summer heat and wear. They have been selected on performance basis by 8 major airlines, 150 railroads, and millions of motorists in 45 nations of the world. Save money. Save your car. Sinclair eyes for safety at your Rio Grande dealer. And now Inspector Hawtrey has a parting word.
Once more, as always, we find that crime, though motivated by a spirit of self-sacrifice, such as moved Charles Stelmach, is nevertheless a crime and does not pay. I wish to express my thanks to the officers concerned in this case, both from the police department and the sheriff's office, for their splendid work and the manner in which they cooperated.
Police calling all cars. Attention all cars. The cancellation broadcast 181 regarding a missing person. His body was found on the beach near Malibu. That's all. Rosenquist.
Narrator, Frederick Lindsley, bidding you good night for Rio Grande. Calling all cars, a copyrighted program created by Rio Grande.
Phoenix Police calling all cars. Attention all cars. Broadcast 182 regarding the burglary of the Turf Cigar Store, 213 North Central Avenue. The burglary occurred this date. The suspects may be armed. That's all. Rosenquist.
Rio Grande's success as the fastest growing oil company in the West has been largely due to 1 minute of time each week. This minute, spent with you through calling all cars. We thank you for the privilege of being an invited guest in your home, and we return this hospitality by inviting you to call at any one of the thousands of independent Rio Grande stations. Our invitation to you is sincere, logical, and true. First, cracked gasoline is the most modern scientific method of refining gasoline. Remember that, for on this fact, oil men universally agree. Rio Grande Cracked is the only gasoline in the West that can be refined by the internationally famous Sinclair refining process, the model process of the oil industry. Second, as proof that Rio Grande Cracked gasoline is a definitely superior patented product, we point to the testimony and endorsement of the drivers and buyers of gasoline for police cars, fire engines, ambulances, and other emergency equipment. For them, the finest gasoline is an absolute necessity. They drove over 55 million miles last year on Rio Grande Cracked gasoline. Remember this: more police cars, fire engines, ambulances, and other emergency equipment are powered by Rio Grande Cracked gasoline wherever it is sold than any other brand. And third, we call this police car performance, for that's exactly what it is, and that's exactly what you'll get if you will accept our invitation to try Rio Grande Cracked gasoline tomorrow at your independent Rio Grande dealer. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the following message from Sheriff Roy Merrill of Maricopa County, Arizona.
In my years as a peace officer, I have come into contact with many youthful criminals. Always the impulse of the average citizen towards this type of criminal is to give him another chance. It is just this other chance that has sent so many men farther along the path of crime. In the case you are to hear tonight, every person connected with the crime had served one or more terms in prison, or had been at one time or another an inmate of a state institution for the correction of criminal tendencies. Of the men convicted and sentenced for the crime, not one of them thought for a minute of the possibility that his particular crime might not pay. This case is a tribute to the splendid spirit of cooperation that exists between the law enforcing agencies of the various states and communities. I wish to express my thanks to the police departments of San Francisco and Los Angeles, and especially to Deputies J.J. Croxton and Ray Bogey, Lieutenants Chilson and Barber of Los Angeles, whose untiring work made the rapid solution of this case possible.
On a wet, dreary day in February of this year, in a cheap rooming house in the center of Los Angeles wholesale district, 4 men huddled around a small gas heater, discussing their plans, which they hope will gain for them the large bankroll that every crook covets.
Oh, rain. Don't it ever do nothing in this cockeyed town but rain?
Oh, shut up. Don't you ever get tired of griping about the weather?
Listen, Mug, don't get smart with me. I'll pin your ears back, see?
Tough guy, huh?
Yeah.
You'll be tough if you string along with us, wise guy.
Listen, Mug, I got a record that'll make you look like a Sunday school teacher.
Just a hardened criminal, ain't you?
Yeah, pipe down. You two sound like a couple of kids on a sandlot baseball game. Lay off this arguing. Let's get this Phoenix job set. Where's Art?
Went out to get a bottle of wine.
He'll need it. That guy ain't got nerve enough.
Yeah, shut up. Now, look, Harry. We take your Ford down to Adams at Figaro and turn it in on that Lincoln they got down there.
What's wrong with taking the Ford to Phoenix?
How many times I got to tell you, Sheriff Merrill's got a list of every car that's owned by a guy with a record? Of course, if you don't think that you got a record...
Save it.
Okay. Now, listen, Louis. You go down on Main Street and get that torch, see? Then drive over to East States and pick up the gas.
What's the matter with getting them at the same place?
Well, the less you buy it in one place, the less chance we run of getting identified.
You better let me get that torch. I know what kind I want.
Well, all right. Maybe that's best.
Hey, there's Art on the curb now. Hey, who's that mug with him?
That's Shorty Dolan. Some stumblebum Art's been running around with.
Well, pull over. Hey, Art, come on, let's go.
Wait a minute. Okay, let's hit it.
Hey, who's that bird you was talking to when we drove up?
A friend of mine.
Oh, was he?
Hey, who are you getting hard with anyway? I said he's a friend of mine. You want to make something out of it?
Maybe I do.
I told you he's a bird we met in a beer joint down in Pico. Just a mug who's out of work, down on his luck. He's all right.
Yeah, I'm telling you, someday you're going to pick up a dick that way, and we'll all be in stir.
Don't worry about...
Later that night, in a cafe on the principal street of Phoenix, Henry Becker, Harry and Art Tobe, and Louis Babajian contact their fingerman in Phoenix, one K.O. Kelly, a man whose long prison record equaled, if it did not exceed, that of the Tobe brothers.
Evening, gents. What can I do for you? Wait till I get rid of these dames at this table, and then we can talk.
Think Kelly will have anything lined up?
Yeah, sure. He's got a lead on a couple of places.
Okay, fellas. What's new?
Well, that's what we want to know.
What have you got lined up?
Now, listen. Every weekend, the Boston store up the street here takes in about 20 grand, see? I staked the place, and I know how the watchman works, see? Oh, this place is a pipe.
What's the lay?
Well, you go straight back to the back end, see? The safe is in the cashier's cage. Oh, it's a cinch, I tell you.
How much did you say was in there?
Between 15 and 20 grand.
Is it a torch job?
Oh, no, you can knock it over with a can opener.
Yeah, you better look it over, Harry.
I'll go by there tomorrow morning.
We better let you and Art and Louie handle this. I'll stake out and keep an eye on the coppers. Hey, what's the best time they take it, Kelly?
Oh, about 9 o'clock Sunday morning.
Hey, wait a minute. What are we going to do in the meantime?
Well, I got a tip on another job that you might knock over tonight.
Oh, why didn't you say so before? Come on, let's go.
Where is this job?
Right up Central Street here. 213 is the number. They do a lot of business and usually have a grand or so laying around in the safe.
What kind of a safe?
Torch job?
Yeah, you'll have to burn it all right.
When's the best time?
Oh, about 3 o'clock. I happen to know the cop on that beat, and he's way up in the other block about that time.
Okay, 3 o'clock makes it.
Returning to the tourist camp where they had registered, Becker, Tobe, and Babajian prepare to open the Turf cigar store safe at 3 o'clock the next morning. In the quiet of the early hours, broken only by the passing of an occasional automobile, Art Tobe, his brother Harry, Becker, and Louis Babajian drive to the address Kelly had given them.
Here's the joint, 213.
Art, you wait. Keep the engine hot and be ready to scram.
Okay, then get going.
Come on, Louis. Bring that other tank.
One's enough. Hey, let's go. Got that crowbar?
Yeah.
Okay, Louis, do your stuff.
This is a pipe, just a little padlock. A little here, like this. This is off. Walk in, my friend.
Hey, where's that box?
Over there in that corner.
Hey, nice view from the street, too, huh?
Yeah, I brought a blanket out of the car.
Where'd that come from?
From the cabin.
It's got Dixie Construction Company painted on it. Hey, Harry, you should show to work for them.
Nah, Jim Blake did. He used to live in that tourist camp. Maybe he left it there.
Yeah, if he did, he stole a better one. Come on, let's go to work.
Here, Louis, hold that blanket up so the torch glare won't be seen out front.
Okay, give me a hand with this other end, will you?
Yeah.
Come on, stretch it out there. That's
Hey, this thing melts like cheese.
How much you got left?
Less than a quarter of an inch.
Shake it up, will you?
Hey, what's the matter? You losing your noise?
No, I just don't want to spend the night in this joint.
Come on, you guys. Quit that arguing. I
All
don't want to
right,
stay here
all
all
right.
the time either.
There
Come on, do some
she
work.
is, my friend. Both doors open. Help yourself, little children.
Oh, boy. Look at them silver dollars, will you?
This looks like a mint. Put out that torch, you dope.
Yeah.
Come on, get that stuff together and let's get out of here.
Here, Louis, take the silver.
Okay,
I'll bring
got
the
it.
tank. Becker can take the rest of the stuff.
You all set? Let's beat it.
Sheriff's office. Sheriff Merrill speaking. Wait a minute. How much? 1,000 silver dollars, S. Mint, 1935. Uh-huh. Yeah. Got any fingerprints? 4 sets, huh? Good work. Looks like the Tobe brothers to me. What do you think? Yeah, I had a tip they were headed this way. Got it too late, though.
Sheriff Merrill and his deputies gather all information possible at the scene of the crime, interview other possible suspects, talk to the manager of the auto court where the Tobe boys, Becker and Babajian, had stopped, and broadcast this information to officers in Los Angeles and San Francisco, known hangouts of the gang. Soon, information from the Department of Justice, Washington, was being received in Phoenix.
Referring fingerprint information, your prints mentioned show subjects as Louis Babajian, Henry Becker, Arthur Tobe, and Harry Tobe. Nice bunch of boys. Oh, Edwards, wire this information to San Francisco and Los Angeles. What do you want to do? Round them up there or bring them all back here?
Let's round them up in Los Angeles.
Okay.
Where you been, Art? I ain't seen you for several days.
Oh, me and the boys have been on a little trip.
Well, what happened to the Lincoln you was in last week? I see you driving the old Ford.
Oh, that? Well, now, that was part of the act. You see, we traded the Ford in on the Lincoln for the trip. Then we brought it back. We said we didn't like it. We got the other car back.
Nice going.
Yeah.
What are you going to do now?
Oh, I don't know. Rest up a few days. Then go back and knock over another job.
What do you mean, go back?
We don't pull any jobs in Los Angeles. We do them in Arizona. And then come back here and blow the dough.
Did you just pull a job?
Sure, down in Phoenix.
Geez, you guys must be smart to pull all them jobs and beat the rap.
We just don't slip up, that's all. It don't take no brains to fool cops.
Don't it?
Yeah, I never had no trouble beating cops in the thinking racket. Say, look, I know right now that the L.A. cops are after me hot and heavy, see? Am I hiding? Nah. Or they even got a guy tailing me all the time, see? Do I care? Nah. I'll give him the slip any time I get ready to blow.
You mean it, Art?
Sure, cops are dumb. You can fool them every time. Oh, hey, Earl, give us another bourbon, will you? Okay. All right, here you are.
Hey, that's a nice new shiny dollar, ain't it?
Yeah.
Hey, let me see that. Huh. United States of America, 1935. Peace dollar. Huh. Yeah, I wonder where they made this one. S. What's that for, Art?
Oh, that's a mint mark. That one was made in San Francisco. That's what the S is for.
Well, ain't that something?
Boy, you're the dumbest guy I ever saw. Well, you're almost dumb enough to be a cop.
yeah, I guess I am at that, Art.
Yeah.
Burglary detail, Chilson speaking. Sure, we're ready. Send them in. Well, they're bringing in our young hoodlums. Edwards, you better get over there on the right.
Okay, Chief.
Roach, you can sit there by Barber. I'll sit here and ask these monkeys a few questions. Come in. Come on in, boys. I believe you know these officers. This is Deputy Sheriff Roach and Detective Edwards of Phoenix. You ever been there? Oh, I believe you know Lieutenant Barber. At least you do, Art. This is Art Tobe and Henry Becker. That's what he was calling himself the last time I picked him up. How about it, Henry?
Yeah, and that's to you, copper.
Nice boys, both of them, when you get to know them like we do. Now, boys, sit down and take it easy. We want to ask you a few questions. A bit personal, perhaps, but then you know how these things are.
Like to talk, don't you, copper?
Well, listening's more in my line, Becker. Well, let's get on to business. Henry, I want to ask you some questions regarding a burglary that was committed in Phoenix, Arizona on February 7th, 1937.
Get going.
You purchased a Lincoln Zephyr from an automobile dealer at Adams and Figueroa. Is that true?
Yeah.
And in company with Art Tobe, you drove that car to Phoenix, Arizona. Is that true?
Yeah.
And in that car, you had a cutting torch and 2 Presto tanks, did you not?
Yeah.
Which were being taken to Phoenix for the purpose of opening a safe there. Is that true?
So what?
Do you know that opening a safe by the use of torches is considered an explosive case?
Huh?
I said that using a torch on a safe constitutes a felony, or explosives are used.
No, you can't pull that one on me. I didn't use no explosives.
Did you know that the license number of your car was taken by the tourist camp manager in Phoenix?
No, I didn't know that.
Did you remove a blanket from the outer court where you and Art were staying?
Yeah.
Where's the blanket now?
I don't know. Hey, listen, Chilson. I don't know what you're asking me all these questions for. I admit I went to Phoenix in a Lincoln, and I admit I took along a cutting torch, but I'm a welder by trade, see, and I used that in a repair job down there. Hey, you can't pin that turf job on me.
Did I say anything about a turf job?
Well, no.
What's the idea, Becker? Hiding something?
I ain't talking.
You ever see that dollar before, Becker?
No.
You ever see it, Art?
No.
That's funny. Got your fingerprints all over it.
Now, listen, you ain't got nothing on me.
Art, didn't you tell me you pulled a job in Phoenix?
I never saw you before in my life.
Take a good look, Art.
Don't you remember you stumbled upon friend Shorty?
Why, you double-crossing rat.
I told you that guy wasn't on a level, but you was too smart to listen to anybody else, you screwball. Yeah, you ought to pin your ears back.
Oh, shut up.
Go ahead, Becker. Don't mind us.
Nuts to you, copper.
Thanks, Becker. Now tell me, what did you boys do with the money?
Wouldn't you like to know, huh?
We do know. We just want to get your version of it. Do you want to tell us now, or shall we wait till you get to Phoenix?
Yeah, well, what difference does it make any house? Yeah, we knocked over that toy joint. We got about $1,500, see? Some of it was in silver and some of it in paper. The blanket was left in the store. It had the Dixie Construction Company painted on it. I don't know where it came from, but
Who else was in on this job, Becker?
wouldn't you like to know, huh?
Well, we'll consider your suggestion, Henry, and find out. Okay, Bill, lock 'em up.
Listen, Chilton. Let's get Ray Bogey and Claxton and stake out that joint where they lived before. Babajan's going to turn up there sooner or later.
Sounds like a good idea.
For days, Officer Claxton and Bogey, deputies from the sheriff's office, working with Chilson and Barber, staked the house where the Tobe brothers, Becker and Babajan, had been known to hang out. Then, one rainy night near the middle of February, a car drove up and stopped at the curb in front of the rooming house. Across the street, ready for instant action, sat Chilson and Barber in their car. Inside the house, Claxton and Bogey waited. After a chase in which the bandits are lost, Chilson and Barber go back to the house to confer with Claxton and Bogey.
What happened after we left, Bogey?
I came back twice.
Oh, we got tied up in a traffic jam on 3rd and couldn't get out.
How come you birds couldn't catch him?
Hey, do you ever try to catch Barney Oldfield?
You guys are afraid to drive that car. Let me get a chance at those monkeys. I'll knock them over.
That's your story.
Look, Chilton. You stay here with Claxton. And Ray and I'll take the car and see what our race driver here can do with Babajan and his mob.
All right, wise guy. You're going to see some driving. There they are again. Let's go.
See him anywhere?
Yeah, 3 blocks down the street.
Come on, you better step on it.
Just hold on, Cowher. We're going after those babies. How you coming, detective? See your hoods anywhere?
2 blocks straight ahead. Look out for that car on the left. He's going across.
Oh, what's the matter with that bird? Blind?
Lost your criminals, Mr. Bogey?
Huh? Well, where?
Yeah, you tell me.
Well, I'll be... Well, can you beat that? I never saw 2 birds get away as easy as that since I've been a cop. Hey, there they go. Down that side street. Hold on, Bauer.
Keep him in sight, Ray. I'm going to take a shot at that heap. Got the gas tank.
Well, let him have it again. Try a tire. Miss.
Nuts. I thought you could drive this car.
Well, I got it down to the floorboard now. What do you think this is, a Duesenberg?
Hold it. I'm going to let him have it again.
You hope. Nice going, my man. You got him.
Watch that monkey slide. Nothing like a good flat tire and a wet street to make a car slide.
Well, you better get that door open and be ready to slide the cuffs on said monkey when he gets that car stopped.
Yeah, don't worry about me. I'll take care of the driver and you get the other one. Okay, monkey. Up with him.
Hey, what's the idea? We ain't done nothing.
I'm sure you haven't. We just wanted to talk to you a little.
Oh, here's your other friend. What are you going to do with him?
Toss him in the back seat there and let him see how he likes to ride in a police car.
Police car? Say, listen, we didn't know you was coppers. We would have stopped. Honest, we would. We thought you was bandits or something. We thought maybe...
Yeah, maybe we just wanted to give you a ticket for speeding.
Yeah. How did you know?
Button it up. Bring the guy on, Barber, and let's go.
All right, fella. Climb in.
Say, listen, you can't do this thing to me.
Oh, is that so? Get in here.
Yes, sir.
Next morning, Babajan is brought into room 45 in the City Hall for questioning in connection with the Phoenix burglary. With him is Harry Tobe, brought from San Francisco.
The boys tell me you were in a hurry last night, Louis.
Yeah. I was going to the bank for my old man.
I'll bet you were at that. What bank?
Oh, any bank.
Any bank robberies last night, Barber?
Not by Babajan.
Now, Louis, I want to ask you a few questions about that Phoenix job.
Phoenix job?
Oh, of course, you wouldn't know about that, now would you?
I wouldn't know about anything you talk about.
You weren't in Phoenix on the night of February 7th?
February 7th? Let me think. Oh, no. February 7th, I was in Long Beach.
Well, just so we won't waste your time, Louis, I think we ought to tell you that your friend Art Toby said that you were in Phoenix on the night of February 7th and that you and Harry here and Henry Becker broke into the Turf cigar store and stole $1,500.
That's a lie. You ask Harry where we were that night.
Well, how about it, Harry?
In Long Beach.
That's what I thought. Only I couldn't figure how you got that Dixie Construction Company blanket you left in your room. I couldn't figure how you got that in Long Beach.
Oh, no, you don't. I left that blanket in the store.
Shut your trap.
Huh? What?
Yeah. We left it in the store in Long Beach.
Oh, yeah, in Long Beach.
That's what I thought, too. Except I couldn't figure how those silver dollars got into your pocket, Louis.
Why, Harry gave me them silver dollars. Yeah, he got them in Frisco.
Maybe he did, Louis, but he didn't give them to you because he was in jail in Frisco.
Huh?
Yeah, you know, jail, where you're going to be for so long.
Listen, Rat, stop trying to pin this on me. I'll give you lead poisoning.
No, you won't, Harry. Not for a long time, you won't. Now, let's stop beating around the bush. I want some facts. You, Louis, we understand you were going to knock over the Boston store in Phoenix. Where did you get your information on that place?
I got it from K.O. Kelly.
What did Kelly tell you?
Well, he told me when the watchman wouldn't be there and how much we'd get.
How much was that?
15 or 20 grand.
How are you going to get into the place?
Easy. Busted open.
And who was to be in on the job?
Harry, Tobe, Art, and myself.
Watch yourself, Louis.
Button it, Tobe, or I'll...
You what?
Oh, save it, boys. Save it. Now, Louis, who was present when you got this information from Kelly?
Art and Harry Tobe and myself.
Harry, do you remember this conversation?
I wasn't there. It was told to me afterwards by Louis and my brother.
Say, maybe we ought to leave you boys alone for a while so you could get together on your story.
That's my story.
And you're stuck with it. Harry, how was this safe going to be opened?
With a hammer and punches.
It was a safe that could be opened by the punch method?
You could have opened it with a can opener.
So you were there?
I was in Long Beach.
Yeah, that's what I thought you said. Well, how does it happen that you boys passed up this 20 grand in the Boston store?
Well, Harry looked it over and found out the watchman stayed in the store all the time.
I thought you said Kelly told you the watchman wouldn't be there.
Yeah, but...
He lied to us.
Us?
Well, it's Art and Louis.
Oh, of course. You were in Long Beach.
That's what I said.
Mm-hmm. Well, look, boys, maybe we can get along better if I tell you some of the things we know about you. Now, we know that you all lived together in the apartment on Santee Street. You owned a Ford sedan. You traded it in for a Lincoln Zephyr, which you drove to Phoenix, Arizona, right?
So what?
So you broke into the Turf cigar store and got about $1,500, which you came back here to spend. How much of that did you get, Harry?
About $165.
Still in Long Beach?
Nuts to you, copper.
You know, Harry, I don't believe that Long Beach story. How about you, Roach?
Well, now, I don't believe I do.
How about you, Edwards?
Well, I can't say that I do.
Well, Harry, it looks like you're going to have to go back to Phoenix. We're going to miss you, boys, I hope.
So, the two Tobe brothers, Henry Kukieski, alias Becker, and Louis Babajian, were prepared for transfer to Phoenix. Arrangements were made for them to see a few of their friends before leaving, and they were told they were to be transported by automobile. A plan was formulated for their escape.
Well, boys, we're about ready to go. Oh, Barbara, you got those leg irons?
Yep, here they are.
Hey, what's the idea of the Oregon boot?
Yeah, what do you think we are, crooks? You can't do this thing to us.
That's just what I thought. But you see, here's a pair for you, Louis, and a pair for you, Harry. I think you'll get used to them by the time you get to Phoenix. Well, so long, boys. And oh, yes, those tweezers your friend smuggled in might work on handcuffs, but not on those leg irons. So you can use them to pull your eyebrows. Goodbye, boys.
Look, I still say you can't do this thing to us.
Harry Tobe, Arthur Tobe, Henry Kukieski, and Louis Babajian, criminals with long prison records, again stood before a judge to receive sentence. On March 15, 1937, less than 2 months after their crime, these men were sentenced to serve from 4 to 10 years in the Arizona State Penitentiary. I'd like to warn you about this summer's driving and your oil. You know as well as I do that moving parts must be protected. And yet many oils you buy have not been de-waxed and de-jellied and will not stand the intense heat of your motor during the summer. These oils, and many of them very good oils in normal weather, get watery, lose their body, have no toughness, and metal parts in your motor scrape against each other, tearing down the efficiency and cutting months off of the life of your car. Automotive engineers say such faulty lubrication costs the American public $300 million a year. A small portion of this expense may be yours. With Sinclair oils, thoroughly de-waxed and de-jellied, this cannot happen to your car. Sinclair oils will not break down from the most intensive summer heat of your motor. That's one big reason why 8 major airlines, 150 railroads, great fleets of ships, and millions of motorists in 45 nations of the world depend upon Sinclair oils for lubrication. There are hundreds and hundreds of oil companies, but 1 out of every 9.5 gallons of oil sold in the United States is refined by Sinclair. Get police car performance with Rio Grande cracked gasoline. Sinclair eyes for safety with Sinclair oils at your Rio Grande dealers tomorrow. And if you haven't gotten this month's issue of the Calling All Cars News with 4 true detective stories, motion picture news, and featured articles, pick it up tomorrow at your Rio Grande dealers. It's free. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we are glad to present Sheriff Merrill of Maricopa County, Arizona. Sheriff Merrill.
I again wish to express my appreciation for the cooperation which my department received from the various peace officers connected with this case. It is with pride that I say to the prospective criminal, crime does not pay. And in Arizona, we are making every effort to make that fact the thought that comes first to every man who has any tendency to break the law.
Phoenix Police calling all cars, attention all cars. A cancellation of broadcast 182 regarding a burglary. The suspects are now in custody. That's all. Rosenquist.
This is your narrator, Frederick Lindsley, bidding you good night for Rio Grande.
Idea. You want to do it?
No, you take care of him.
Okay.
Hey, wait a minute, Hoppy. We're in deep enough now. Take it easy.
What's the matter with you? You going soft?
No, I ain't soft, but a stick-up's one thing and chopping a guy's another.
What do you want to do? Leave him here to give a load to the coppers on our looks?
Oh, I'll keep quiet, mister. Honest, I will.
Yeah? The only guy that ever keeps it quiet is a dead one.
Oh, no, I give you my word. I won't tell anybody.
Yeah, come on, Hoppy. No use bumping this kid off. Let's scram.
Okay. Now, look. I'm letting you go, see? But I still think I'm a sap.
Oh, no, sir. You're not. I'll keep quiet.
Yeah, you keep quiet. Because if you don't, it's just going to be too bad. Remember, I'm telling you.
Are you going to spend the night threatening us, Bird? Come on.
Keep your shirt on. Come on, let's go.
Next day, at almost the same time in the evening, 3 men walk into the Glendale plant of the ice company. This time a lookout is posted at the door.
Okay, pal, go on, get him up. You heard me, grab her.
In case you don't know, these is guns we're pointing at, you see. This is known as a stick-up.
Oh.
Come on, dumb guy, get him up a higher.
Yes, sir.
Get the cash, Lefty.
And what's the matter with you? Just come along and keep that guy
Shut up.
Yeah, come on, get that stuff and get out of here.
What's the matter? You're getting awful jumpy lately. What's wrong with you?
Nothing's wrong with me. We're pulling these jobs too fast, that's all.
Don't you like ice houses? Stick around. We'll make it hotter for you.
It's going to be hot for you if you don't watch that figure, Drinker.
Stop trying to tell me how to do this job. I'm running this mob, see?
Yeah, that's what you keep saying, but you don't seem to make them stick.
Yeah? Well, why don't you try pulling out?
All set.
Okay, take a look outside and see if it's clear.
It's okay.
Now, listen to me, dumb guy. You stay right where you are for 15 minutes, see?
Oh, yes, sir.
And if you bat an eyelash, I'll come back and blow off the top of your head.
About a week later, G.H. Fry, General Superintendent of the Union Ice Company's office at 666 South Alameda Street in Los Angeles, nears the entrance to his plant when he sees a man come out of the door carrying a 25-pound piece of ice. Paying no particular attention to the man, he is about to walk on when he sees the man stop beside an alley and quickly toss the ice aside. Musing, he enters the office.
That's strange. Never saw a fellow throw away a chunk of ice like that. Oh, Pop, come here a minute. Pop, did you see a tall man buying a piece of ice?
Hey, are your receipts the largest in the ice business?
Tuesday is the day when we have the most money in the office.
And today's Tuesday, huh? Mm-hmm. Well, they'll probably make a try for it tonight.
What are we going to do?
Now, don't worry. We'll take care of this. Did you report this to the police department?
Oh, no. I thought maybe you could help me. After all, Bill, we've been friends for years.
Oh, that's not it. I just asked for information. It's okay. I'll send a couple of the boys down to look the place over. I want you to stay out of this, though.
You ring, sir?
Yes. Ask Stensland and Moody to step in here a minute, please.
Yes, sir.
These men are two of the best men in the department. They'll go down and keep an eye on the office till this blows over, or till we catch the crooks. Come in. Mr. Fry, Inspector Stensland and Inspector Moody.
All right.
How do you do?
Boys, Mr. Fry here is having a little excitement down at the Union Ice Company plant on Alameda Street. I want you to go over there, look the place over, and see if you think we can pick these crooks up if they try to start anything at all.
I can help a lot, Bill.
Oh, no, you won't. You'll stay out of this. I know how well you handle a gun and all that, but this job is going to be dangerous. We don't want any innocent bystanders getting hurt.
Well, we can't just walk out and leave the office vacant, waiting for them to come in.
No, that's right. We can't. Got anybody over there you can trust to let in on our little plan?
We might tell Pop Comfort.
No, I don't think he'd do. He'd be worse than you would about getting into trouble. No, we've got to have somebody who's calm and who won't get excited and start trouble.
Well, let's see. I know just the man. Earl, my bookkeeper.
Well, at least he looks like the logical man to have hanging around an office late at night.
You think they'll try to do it at night?
I figure they'll try to do the job just about closing time. Fry, you explain all this to your bookkeeper and see that he does exactly as he's told. This may be a tough gang we're looking for.
This is Officer Stensland, and this is Mr. Moody. Earl's our bookkeeper.
We thought it best to have one of the employees in on our plan rather than Mr. Fry here.
Is there going to be shooting and everything?
That's hard to say. Not even sure there's going to be a stick-up. We're pretty certain that this is the same bunch that held up the Glendale plant and the Oxnard plant.
Look, why can't I stick around?
No, Mr. Fry. We want you to stay away. We get paid to be shot at.
I'd like to get just one shot at those bandits.
Well, they're not bandits yet, Mr. Fry. At least we're not sure they mean to be bandits here.
I heard voices outside.
No.
From your independent Rio Grande dealer. And tomorrow, when you buy gasoline, get your money's worth. Get the finest gasoline that money can buy. Get police car performance with Rio Grande Crack. Tonight, we are privileged to present Major Edmund L. Green of the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Office. Major Green.
Good evening. Nearly every man, woman, and child of thinking age in this country, crime conscious as it is, has a cure-all for crime. No theoretical remedy exists which will clear up the crime situation in this country overnight. Since no cure has been found to be successful, the only other remedy seems to be either speedy apprehension of criminals or else prevention of the crime. A suggestion for the prevention of crime has been build more and stronger prisons. But even this has not lessened the urge on the part of some men to profit at the expense of others. In our story tonight, we have a narrative of a crime that was prevented. True, the crime was attempted, and in the attempt, 3 men met their deaths. But the fearless work of the law enforcement officers at the scene prevented another successful holdup. Through one single misstep, 4 men learned that crime does not pay. But the show is ready. I'll be with you again at the end of the program.
It is almost closing time in the Oxnard office of the Union Ice Company. The bookkeeper had just completed his daily check with the last driver when 4 men enter the office from the street entrance.
Reach for the ceiling, you.
What is this? Who are you?
Never mind, this is a stick-up. Keep your mitts in the air and we won't hurt you.
Oh, yes.
Get that money, Lefty.
All right, keep your shirt on. Don't you see I'm getting it?
Don't get tough with me. Go on. Get 'em move on.
Will you two mugs stop arguing? You're going to keep shooting your mouth off till we get our necks in a sling.
Yeah? Well, you ain't no clam yourself.
Say, could I take my hands down now? This is awfully tiresome.
Not half as tiresome as the coffin. Go on. Keep him up.
Ah, he's all right, Hoppy. He can't pull anything. I got him covered. Let him down, kid.
Oh, gee, thanks. Boy, that sure puts a crimp in your arm, doesn't it?
Shut up. Don't get social or I'll have to slug you.
Yes,
How about it, Lefty? How much you got?
About 3 C's.
What? All this trouble for $300?
I told you this joint wasn't no good on Thursdays.
Ah, shut up. Come on, let's go.
You think we ought to bump this guy off?
It's a good idea.
Calling all cars, a copyrighted program created by Rio Grande.
Los Angeles Police calling all cars. Attention all cars. Broadcast 180. Regarding a holdup at the Union Ice Company. This holdup is going on now. Hurry over. Rosenquist.
Prosperity, that welcome guest, is almost home, and what we've learned in his absence. Rio Grande sales figures show that careful buyers during these last years have chosen wisely between the claims and the facts in gasoline advertising. Rio Grande's invitation to you is sincere, logical, and true, and the facts are as simple as 1, 2, 3. First, cracking is the most modern scientific method of refining the highest grade of gasoline. Remember that, for on this fact, oil men universally agree. Rio Grande cracked gasoline is refined by the process used and developed by the Sinclair Refining Company, the world's largest independent oil company whose products are sold in 45 nations. But in the West, only Rio Grande cracked gasoline can be refined by this process. Rio Grande cracked gasoline is a patented, exclusive product that you can buy only through independent Rio Grande dealers. Second, as evidence of this fact, we refer you to the best judges of gasoline, those to whom the finest gasoline is an absolute necessity, the drivers and buyers of gasoline for police cars, fire engines, ambulances, and emergency equipment. They drove 55 million miles last year with Rio Grande cracked gasoline. Who knows more about stopping and starting, idling in traffic, driving long economical miles, and the sudden bursts of racing, flashing speed? Remember this. More police cars, fire engines, ambulances, and other emergency equipment are powered by Rio Grande cracked gasoline than any other brand. And third, we call this police car performance, for that's exactly what it is, and that's exactly what you get when you buy Rio Grande cracked gasoline.
Just now.
Fellow with kind of sandy hair?
Yes, that's the man.
Yeah, I saw it to myself.
Notice anything peculiar about him?
Well, he's been in here a time or two before. Matter of fact, he came in here yesterday, pretending to get a drink over there at the fountain.
What do you mean, pretending?
Just put his face down, didn't even wet his lips. Sort of waved his eyes around like a crab looking around a rock for a dead fish.
Do you think he was looking the place over for some particular purpose?
I wouldn't have paid much attention to it, except that almost as soon as he left, another fellow come in and did the same thing.
That settles it. Remember that hold-up in Glendale last month?
Yeah.
Some men did the same thing over there.
What are you going to do?
I'm going over to see Bill Traeger about it.
Why, Sheriff Traeger?
I've known him ever since he was a young fellow. He'll be able to give me the right kind of advice. You keep an eye on things till I get back.
Yeah.
No, I think I'll phone him first.
Mr. Fry to see you, Sheriff.
Have him come in.
Good morning, Bill.
Well, what's this you were telling me over the phone? Sorry I had to cut you off, but we don't like to get much dope over the phone. Never can tell who's listening in.
Is that so? That switchboard girl of mine...
Sometimes things have a way of leaking out when we least expect it, and we like to be protected.
Well, this morning when I was coming into the office, I noticed a man just leaving the plant with a small piece of ice. I'd say 25 pounds. And I just happened to look back at him before I went inside, and I saw him flip the piece of ice up an alley. Just like that.
He didn't just set it down on the walk?
No, he just flipped it down the alley like you would a bowling ball or something.
Must have been a pretty strong fellow. What did he look like?
He was not so tall. I'd say about 5'8" or 9". He was pretty husky, though.
Was he light or dark?
He was very dark. Almost foreign-looking. One of the meanest-looking men I ever saw.
Sounds like a fellow we know as the Hophead.
That's a name that would fit him, all right.
Ever seen him before?
No, but one of the boys at the Glendale plant said that one of the men who held up the office last month looked like that.
Might be the same man.
There was a short, dark man involved in the Oxnard plant holdup, you remember?
Yes, that's so. This is beginning to look suspicious. Have you noticed anything else unusual going on around the plant lately?
Well, as a matter of fact, I have. I noticed a tall fellow who came in yesterday and pretended to get a drink of water, but he didn't.
Didn't what?
He didn't drink. Just put his face down over the fountain and didn't even wet his lips.
That's funny. Notice anything else?
Well, Pop Comfort said the same fellow that bought the ice this morning came in yesterday and did the same things.
Somebody's evidently staking the place for a holdup.
Gosh, I hope not. Just about one more holdup, and the insurance company's going to cancel our policies.
What